It may be difficult for many of us to imagine that early societies could be as complex as they are today. The amazing structural accomplishments found in Turkey have shifted our belief of what humans were capable of back then. Massive buildings, artifacts, and engravings found at Tas Tepler Hills, a prehistoric area of land in southeastern Turkey, have added major pieces to the jigsaw of our ancient past. What are these remarkable discoveries found in Turkey? Today we'll find out how the early Neolithic populations of Turkey significantly shifted our beliefs about early human capabilities. Let's have a closer look. Tas Tepler is translated as Stone Hill. It is a term for an area that has uncovered some of the most prominent stone constructions from ancient periods during the Neolithic era. It is situated in southeastern Turkey. The Tas Tepler Hills are part of a wider archaeological environment that spreads over the lush plains surrounding the Euphrates River. This location has become a significant visiting destination for archaeologists since it contains secrets dated to 12,000 years ago and a project known as the Tas Tepler Project, which involves archaeological excavations and research carried out in 7 different sites: Göbekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe, Vulture Tepe, Saybruz, Çakma Tepe, Sefre Tepe, and the Yeleme Hala Mound. One of these major sites harbors evidence of social and religious practices of pre-archaeological societies and predates the Stonehenge by several millennia. This early Neolithic site, named Göbekli Tepe, dating from circa 9,600 to 7,750 BCE, is located some 15 kilometers northeast of the modern town of Şanlıurfa in southeast Turkey. It covers an area of 9 hectares and lies on the peak of the Garmuş mountain range, approximately 770 meters above sea level. The site was officially found in 1994 by a German archaeologist known as Dr. Nesmi Karul from the Istanbul University Department of Prehistoric Archaeology. Yet it was first noted as an archaeological site during a field survey undertaken in the region in the 1960s by the University of Istanbul and Chicago. It is known as the world's oldest religious sanctuary and is often referred to as the zero point of history because it is the earliest form of monumental architecture predating human construction. The architectural marvel at Gobekli Tepe comprises several circular and oval-shaped constructions, each characterized by huge T-shaped pillars. These pillars, weighing up to 20 tons, are artistically carved with images of animals and complex symbols. These carvings are thought to possess profound spiritual or cultural connotations. The site is split into multiple enclosures, with just a quarter of them excavated so far. We still have so much more to discover here. But the most renowned enclosures, named A through D, have unique T-pillars, which are ornamented with reliefs of diverse creatures, including lions, snakes, and birds. There are also bas-reliefs of lions, wild boars, and aurochs. Notable finds include a life-size statue of a wild boar, a carved human head, and 7,000 grinding stones have been found, spanning the entirety of the site. The multitude and intricacy of Gobekli Tepe implies that its builders had sophisticated knowledge and abilities, refuting the belief that such accomplishments were only feasible after the beginning of agriculture. At the time of its construction, the temperature and the surroundings were very different from now. The lands of this location were less arid and abundant in lush and fruitful landscapes. The fertile environment gave lots of supplies for the early Neolithic hunter-gatherer population from the Upper Mesopotamia region, meaning that the Gobekli Tepe people had many resources and agility to devote effort to the erection of the massive stones at the site. Gobekli Tepe is also littered with flint artifacts. From the ridgetop site to the slopes, the tool assemblage found resembles that of other northern Levantine pre-pottery Neolithic. These sculptures, together with abstract symbols, are assumed to have had considerable ceremonial meaning. Scholars think that Gobekli Tepe functioned as a ceremonial center, a location where ancient people convened for religious or social activities. The quality of the carvings and the extent of the superstructure reflect a sophisticated social organization capable of coordinating and maintaining such large-scale endeavors. If this is the video you don't know you needed, then tap that subscription button and continue your adventure with us into the past. There is a second site at Tas Tepler Hill that has been excavated with only a small fraction of the site excavated so far. Found in 1996 and located about 55 kilometers from downtown Şanlıurfa, the site, named Karahan Tepe, lies along one of the limestone heights within the Tek Tek Mountains. The mountains are a 60-kilometer-long flat plateau between the Haran and Virashin plains, the highest part of which is 761 meters above sea level. Along with Göbekli Tepe, Karahan Tepe is also deemed as a zero point of history due to its own set of unique agricultural and artistic aspects. The limestone heights in the form of slabs provide both the building material and the raw material for the construction of T-shaped pillars at Karahan Tepe and other contemporary sites. The section where T-shaped pillars were quarried on the terraces of the western cone, descending to the south and west, is called the quarries. One of the most remarkable parts of the Karahan Tepe is the so-called phallus room. This chamber features multiple phallus-shaped pillars which undoubtedly carry considerable symbolic importance. The chamber is filled with exquisite images of leopards and totemic architecture. Other sculptures and artifacts found at Karahan Tepe include animal figures such as foxes and serpents and geometric designs. In September 2023, Turkish and German experts discovered a statue of a vulture and a 2.3-meter-high anthropomorphic statue. The site also yielded flint tools, obsidian blades, decorative beads, and bone implements. The specific role of this chamber remains a topic of discussion, but they reflect a rich symbolic culture and give evidence of a complex social organization. The finding of obsidian artifacts at Karahan Tepe shows that the site was part of a greater network of commerce and communication. Obsidian, a volcanic glass that is not available nearby, would have been exchanged from remote locations. This evidence of trade networks implies that the inhabitants of the Karahan Tepe were not isolated, but were involved in long-distance relationships with neighboring groups. Prior to these findings, it was commonly thought that the building of huge, complex structures was only conceivable with the beginning of agriculture. This notion believed that only established agricultural societies had the resources and social order required to execute such initiatives. These findings changed our beliefs on megalithic architecture. The structural accomplishments of Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe have challenged researchers to rethink the capabilities of early human cultures. These sites, which predate the oldest known agricultural methods by 1,000 years, demonstrate that hunter-gatherer tribes were capable of colossal construction. This defies the usual timetable of human evolution and proves that early people possessed the capacity to plan, organize, and execute large-scale enterprises motivated by spiritual and community reasons. The sculptures and constructions at both sites reflect a complex symbolic and ceremonial civilization. The images of animals, abstract symbols, and totemic structures show that these places were centers of spiritual activity. The emphasis on ritual and ceremony underscores the significance of religion and community meetings in early human cultures, giving a glimpse into the spiritual life of our ancestors. But the Taş Tepler area still harbors many mysteries, with countless ruins still to be unearthed and many more sites to be excavated. The continued investigation of this region promises to expose substantially more about the skills and beliefs of our ancient ancestors. The slopes around Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe are littered with numerous archaeological sites that have yet to be properly studied. These sites could possibly include further massive buildings, artifacts, and engravings that will help construct a clearer picture of our ancient past. Advances in archaeological methods and technology are assisting in the excavation of Taş Tepler area. Ground-penetrating radar, 3D scanning, and other contemporary methods are helping archaeologists locate buried buildings without intrusive excavating. These tools are transforming the discipline of archaeology, enabling a more accurate and efficient study of ancient sites. The digging continues, and we can only but expect new findings to understand what happened in the past. Meanwhile, check out our videos about discoveries around the world that are helping us understand our evolutionary story.